say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
All right, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Some Random Guy Show. I am your host, Tony Love. Let me get my camera together and things. We have a lot to talk about, man. Boy, I tell you, let me see here. Let me go ahead and fix this camera and stuff, though. I hope everybody is having a great time and stuff. Did you miss me? Did you miss me? Was it boring when I was gone, in my absence? Boy, I tell you, let me go ahead on and get the, let me see, am I going to show that today or tonight? You know what I'm going to do? Let's just do this here. Let me get my cameras up first. You miss my face, miss my voice. I know the trolls miss me. Boy, I know the trolls, they was upset, Where he been at, There I go. There's like saying, where had this guy been, man? Where the hell have he been? You know what I'm saying? I know the trolls miss. I know my regular group, my audience miss me, of course. There I go. But I know it's like, they like wondering, like, where in the hell did this guy go? I'm going to explain that in a minute. But before I do, let me go ahead on and let me see. We got that up here. Oops. Okay, let's go ahead and do this here. Just one moment. And I will explain all. Just one moment. Let me go ahead and take the screen down for a minute. You like that background there? I've been working down. You know why I've been down? I said, you know what? I'm gonna make it nice and pretty, you know, because I said I got to still do the member group page and stuff. I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna actually do that tomorrow, man. I wanted to do it I wanted to do it on the 5th of August, but there was a situation that was my fault, you know. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. It was a situation that happened, you know, and I'm gonna go into that in a minute and stuff. I hope everybody's doing great and stuff. You know? Oh man, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna go in and talk about it. Let me see. Should I put that flag up over here too? Where my other flag? Where my flag at? Where my flag at? You know, I just leave it the way it is. Most of you guys are on a vertical anyway before we get started. And I appreciate you guys once again. We got a topic that's going to be hitting home, you know, especially in the black community. Oh, man. But at any event, so y'all remember when I posted Jake Lane, right? I did a thumbnail, right? It was with someone with boxing gloves hitting, because Jake Lane got hit in the back of the head. And we already know what happened. With the guidelines, YouTube considered that to be violent and scary. So therefore, they put me in, you know, at a strike, you know. And, you know, that same video is on Rumble. You can look at it. Thumbnail, it was over a thumbnail, ladies and gentlemen. It was over a thumbnail. But that's their rules, you know. My fault. So that's the reason why you guys haven't heard from me. I was down a week and stuff. And I got to give a shout out. You know, coconuts are real, and Dakota, you know. You got Dakota actually came over there on Rumble, man. When no one else showed up over there, Dakota was over there. I got to give a shout out to Dakota, man. That's what I say, man, you know. Yeah. I didn't hear from none of my mods, you know. I didn't hear from none of them. You knew I was over there on Rumble. I'm always posting on Rumble. I didn't hear not one, but it was only a few that I heard from, you know. Also, I heard from, I'm going to go here hard, you know, I was going to say, I heard, let me go look into the chat here first. Hold on for a minute. I'm just over here. Hold on for one moment. You got Stewart in the house. Black Guy 9 in the house. Coconuts are real in the house. I mean, you know, when you've been gone a week, you start to forget some of the mods, you know. But at any event, he reached out to me. He just commented online and stuff, you know. So he said he was going to spread the word in Discord in regards to, I was explaining to him as well what happened with the thumbnail. But other than that, the show must go on, ladies and gentlemen. A show must go on. How you like my backdrop, you know? How you like it, you know? Boy, it looks good, though, you know, instead of just having plain black, you know? So I've been working. So, yeah, we're going to get into the show and stuff. So I got my mod squad, you know. Tony Tone is still here. I'm still alive. I didn't get kicked off permanently and none of that stuff. It was over a thumbnail. Oh, man. A thumbnail, you know? Man. But it's okay. It's okay, ladies and gentlemen. It was too violent. With the boxing gloves. Oh my goodness, boy. Can't show nobody getting punched. Oh no, that goes against the community guide. It's a community guidelines, ladies and gentlemen. I suggest that you guys read it, you know. Anything that's violent, which I understand, but I didn't think that because I tried to, you know, soft pedal it a little bit, but they didn't like it. They looked at it as violence. He used AI and it was violent. Oh my goodness. Boy, we're going to go ahead and get into it, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to get into this situation, you know. Yeah, so other than that, as you guys are coming into the rooms, into this room, if you never seen me before or my channel, please hit the like button as well as the subscribe button. Because over here, where we talk about a lot of political things, in regards to the Democrat Socialist, America First stuff, this is where it's happening here. And I've been wanting to talk about some stuff so bad. Stuff was going on as I was down, but I was on Rumble, though, you know. I got a little bit of a Rumble crowd. Rumble is different though, man. I don't have nowhere near like the trolls and haters and stuff like that. Rumble is different though, you know. If you are a conservative and you enjoy real content and podcasts or streaming, you want to go there on Rumble, uninterrupted. You know, I can just, you know, free flow and do what I need to do uninterrupted. Most of the haters are mainly over here on YouTube, where it's, you know, they don't go there. So other than that, let's go ahead and get into it. So again, my name is Tony Love, and I want to welcome you to Some Random Guy Speaks, you know. Boy, I tell you. So if you're listening to the show, and with a show where we say the quiet part out loud, you know what I'm saying? So today's topic is a simple and uncomfortable, right? For those that don't like what I'm about to say. We're talking about the black ghettos. Is Democrat socialism in America. And it already happened. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about it, you know. And as I was listening to Vince, you know what I'm saying, what's his name? But at any event, hold on for a minute, because I want to give him the proper respect as respect is due, you know what I'm saying? So the Vince Ellison show, you know, and I'm a big fan of him as well. And, you know, I said I got to expand on this topic because I always said the same thing. When we start looking at the ghettos, ladies and gentlemen, they are, like I always say, if you want to know what socialism look like, just look inside of the black community. There's been black folks that have been programmed socialist for a very long time. And when you see socialism, the socialist leadership and so forth, they have created what we call the ghettos. And we're going to talk about it, right? Oh, my goodness. So you don't want to miss this thing, though. If it's uncomfortable for you, I suggest that you may want to break wide. But for those that can take it, well, we about to go there, right? And we're going to go there right now, though. So, yeah. So what does socialism look like, right, when it actually hits the ground, right? We're talking about government dependency, broken families, high crime, failed schools, generational poverty, right? Oh, man, we going there. And a political machine that stays in power by keeping people, what, trapped, right? This is what it is. You think it's being cool or being black by backing these so-called socialist politicians on the left, right? And nothing gets done. It's the same old song over and over and over and over and over, right? That's the thing. How dumb, how stupid, how much of an idiot do we have to be when you constantly keep voting against your better judgment, right? Look at what's going on here. Boy, I tell you, man, and we about to get into it, though, because like I said, there are cities that mirror what I'm talking about right now. It ain't that DSA is coming. It's already here in the black community. Now, as far as elsewhere, you may not see it as much, but you see it in the inner cities and the ghettos. That's a fact. They were the ones that created it. Now, look at the majority black urban areas, right, that have been running by Democrats for 50 to 60 years, right? Sometimes 70 years straight, right? Talking about Chicago, talking about Baltimore, talking about Detroit, talking about St. Louis, right? And parts of Atlanta, parts of Philadelphia, right? The pattern is the same, right? Where welfare replaces who? The fathers. The state becomes what? The provider. Single motherhood rates, right? In some of these, communities sit north of the 70%, right? Look at this. That's not culture, what we call not culture falling out of the sky. It's the policy, the war on poverty, and the Great Society, right? Didn't end with poverty, right? They changed the incentives. You got paid more not to work, not to be married, and not to take responsibility. And that's the result followed, right? Because there's no reward with it. You were just voting Democrats. You were conditioned to accept socialism, Marxism, and on your way to communism. That's exactly what it is. One thing about it, they know that the black community have been primed for a very long time to accept Marxist, socialism, Marxist type stuff. You hear the talk from these so-called leaders, right? We're going to go there, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to go there. What about crime with a big old question mark, right? Oh, man. Look at the homicide numbers. Look at the victims that are overwhelmingly what? Black, right? The shooters are overwhelmingly what? Black, right? And the cities where it's the worst have been under Democratic control for generations, right? Soft on crime protesters, cashless bail, defund, what? Defund the who? Oh, defund experiments, and all of it's laying hard on people living in those same neighborhoods. These politicians you vote for, not one of them live in the inner city ghettos. They live out in the suburbs. They live in gated communities. They come from wealthy families, right? They never had to work hard, right? Like you and me. They were given a silver spoon in their mouth. Martin Luther King had it good. He never grew up in the hood, right? And he ain't the only one. W.E.B. Du Bois, very well educated. One of the first black doctorate degree. It was him. His family and stuff. They never grew up in the ghetto. And we can keep naming these people, right? You want to sit up here and try to include them in? No, because they were pushing what? Socialism in the black community. And that's where it started, right? Oh, man. Boy, we're going to talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about it. So where am I here, right? And all these cities, right, where this is the worst, have been under what? The Democratic control for generations. Soft on crime, persecutors, right? Cashless bail, as I mentioned before, right? All these laying hard on the people that living in these neighborhoods. What we call them the hood today. The politicians still get reelected because the narrative is always systematic. Something or another, what? Instead of the policies is destroying us, which it is. The policies in the black communities have been destroying black folks, right? Because the black folks haven't been taught, or they haven't been brave enough or educated enough, which I don't understand, to push back on this. You still voting to your self-destruction, right? You enjoy living in the hood. Why they don't live in the hood? They laughing at you. You a clown to them, right? They've been living good off of your black misery, right? That's what it is. What do you call it when black people are doing this to what? Black people, right? What do you call it? I would like to know. Schools, question mark. Many of these districts spend more per student than the national average on steel produce, functional literacy at scale, right? The teachers union, right? And the local Democrat machine fight school choices like their jobs depended on it. We know they do, right? Because they do. The competition would expose the failure. That's why they push back on this stuff. They don't want you to have school choices. They want to keep your ASS in the ghetto and hate the white man or hate anybody that's doing better than you. Ain't that right? And look how many years has it been. Damn near 70 years with this nonsense and this buffoonery. You refuse to look at your so-called leaders and put them under high standards, put them behind under pressure. You don't get my vote unless we see improvement in our community. But you haven't done that. You know what it is? Nilly Fuller, black coal. Black coal is failing black folk. You guys got to get off black coal. Black coal ain't never got you anything better. Look around. You in the hood. They don't live in the hood. Maxine Waters live in a $4.5 million home, gated community with security. Right? But she keeps saying how she loves black people. Oh, my goodness. Boy, you can't make this ish up, boy. You cannot. We're going to find out how much they love you, right? Look at it. Housing projects, Section 8, right? What's it as? Concentrations, right? And the endless cycle of government programs, right? Create the physical environment, high rise or low rise. The outcome is still what? The same. Concentrated dysfunction with the state as a landlord and political class as oversaw. All right? Look at this. Oversee, right? This is not unfunding because there it is, ladies and gentlemen. These cities have received billions of dollars. This is not racism from the outside. The mayor, right? The city council, the school boards, and the prosecutors all been black and Democrat for decades in many of these places. The results are the same. What is the problem? You've been given billions of dollars to build in the community. Why haven't the money trickle down into the ghetto, right? These are the questions that I'm asking. They don't have a question for this. This is the problem, ladies and gentlemen. As the more they vote Democrat, oh, I hate Trump, they'd still rather be in the ghetto than to vote sensibly. We're talking about with logic and common sense. You know, you have these ghettos. I have to answer these questions when people come over here in America for the first time and they don't understand. They say, America's so rich. Why is this happening in these ghettos? And then I got to go out and explain all of this. But you know what black folks say? Well, it's racism, it's racism. White man got us down. He got a foot on our neck. It's racism. No, it ain't racism because your own people are doing it. They get billions of dollars. What do? They take that money and they keep it to themselves or put it in these other BS NGOs, bounce back to them eventually. It's called a kickback. You don't get SHIT. You still in the ghetto. You still illiterate. You still have no job, low employment, right? Crime is high. You pay higher insurance rates. Think about it. And you know the people I'm addressing to? I'm addressing the knuckle draggers, the low IQ people that still want to say that we got a champion in a Democrat Party. That's a black person. That's a joke. That's oh man, where my funny laugh track at? That's a joke. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Oh, I said I was gonna start cooking again. Oh my goodness, boy. This is a joke. The whole group and party, the black clergy is a joke. I'm serious. These are jokesters. They couldn't run a city and out of a wet paper bag. It's a joke. These people are low IQ at best. But what they good at doing is fooling blacks in the ghetto, right? They love voting for something while they get nothing. Instead of saying, yeah, he got a point. Shit, I never thought about that. They shouldn't have been thinking about this. He should have been on this a long time ago. Because I know when you try to run black code and you don't have an answer for it, look at what black code got you. Study in the ghetto. You go on living 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, hating the white man, right? While you ain't never, you ain't been nowhere. You ain't traveled nowhere. You ain't never lived anywhere nice, right? You take your ghetto mentality everywhere and expect other people to have to conform around you. Ain't that right? Boy, I tell you, man, you can't make this ish up, boy. You really can't, man. But here it is. Now the contrast that with black Americans, right, who leave that system, 2-parent homes, work, church, personal responsibility, the outcome improves dramatically, right? That's not theory either. The data has said it for years, right? The difference isn't skin color, right? It's about the environment and the incentives. That's it. That's it, right? Because when you look at outside of the ghetto, black, white, and other are doing well. 2-family parents, as I mentioned, church, going to school, becoming somebody, doing something, entrepreneur stuff, having a circle of friends, having a community, right? Where they can actually, thrive. They don't have to worry about crime as much. Because most of the time, it's always been said, when a crime happens, there's always usually somebody, right, that's outside of the community in some cases, right? That's just how it is. Socialism doesn't need to be announced with a red flag and 5-year plan. It's arrived as compassion. This is how they came to the blacks. Oh yeah, we care about you because you're downtrodden in the community. You don't have no way because of racism. We're going to empower you, black people. Yeah, right. What about equality, right? And helping the community, right? But at the end, product is the same. Dependency, disorder, and permanent political client class, which means the Democrats. That's all you have. Permanent. Married to a party that you don't get nothing in return, right? That's what it is. Boy, I tell you, man, The black ghetto is America's version of that experiment. It already happened. The people are running it still, right? And call it progress. And anyone who point at this body count and the broken families get called the problem. This is how they keep the opposition pushed back with people like myself. They say it's racist. They can't criticize this. It was because of racism is the problem. Yeah, when the Dems are doing it, what do you call it? Because the Dems undeveloped the black community, put them dependency, and so forth, right? Dependent on a system that was never meant for you to rise, right? That's what it is. It's systematic racism coming from your party that you have voted for. Remember, the Republicans never needed the black vote. They used to have it a long time ago, and we know what happened with that. But think about it. The only party that needs the black vote are Democrats. You vote for a party and get nothing in return but poverty, crime, drugs, gang activity. Keep saying it, right? Disenfranchisement. And what else, right? Underserved communities, which was all created by them. And you got to be able to face this fact. Everybody know who made black folks the number one acceptance of socialism and Marxism. That's exactly what it is. These people, the Johnny come lates right now, it's easy for blacks. Blacks gravitate towards my dummy. They gravitate towards, Abdul El Said. They gravitate towards AOC. Same message, same speech, but you still in the ghetto. AOC don't live in the ghetto. Abdul El Said do not live in the ghetto. Do you realize that Abdul El Said has a doctorate's degree, a Rhodes Scholar? This is what it is. You don't get that but being no damn fool. He come from money. Mandami come from money. They don't give a damn about your black, you know what? You in the ghetto. You just a sheeple that they use where they can keep, just promise you crap that you would never get. You ain't never seen the dream. You still in the ghetto. Generational poverty. Generational single mama. Drama queen. Welfare queen. Think about it. You have a small chance. It's like winning the lottery. So hopefully your baby can make it on the NBA. Everybody don't make it on the NBA. The ones that make it out the ghetto, right? Boy, I tell you, man, this is the major problem, ladies and gentlemen. It really is, right? In fact, let me do this. Let me go on just a little break. I'm going to go ahead and put up this other photo here because I like to have what we're talking about here so we can have something to reference to, you know? Mm-hmm. Yep, just give me one moment. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. This has been the problem, ladies and gentlemen. They have created what we call the ghettos. All around, I named the cities. They're not doing good. They're doing bad, worse off today than it ever was. They don't want to talk to me. They don't want to talk. They don't want to talk, ladies and gentlemen. All they want to do is divert and switch the topic, switch the subject like they always do, right? That's what they do. Because like I say, when I hit with hard facts like this is something, you know, they already got whites trained not to talk about it because all they're going to do is say he's racist. It's not the racist about what I'm talking about. See, with us, we destroy their narrative. They're going to come after me harder than a white person talking about these issues, right? It is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. We destroy their narrative every time. What a black man doing with a MAGA cap on? They the racists. They're the ones right there. They got a lot of trouble to worry about right now than worrying about me, that's for sure. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if I can find this photo. Just give me one moment. Where is this thing when I need it, man? God dog on it. Hold on for a minute. Because it's much more impactful, you know? Let's see here. Let's see if I can find this thing again, man. Y'all all right? Yeah, y'all all right? Well, yeah, so let me pull this photo up. If you ain't all right, you're going to be all right. Truth always sets you free. Let me see here. Where is this thing at, man? And I do have it. Just one moment, man. Man, I can't stand it when you're trying to look for something. And I should have had this already. It's one of these things when you've been gone for a while, because you get in the rhythm, you know. You know, and I finally got out of YouTube jail, you know. Boy, I tell you, man, never been in there before. You know, but it's nice and clean. They got benches in there. They feed me 3 times a day, you know. Nice hot meals and stuff, you know. You okay? You okay? Tony Love, you okay? Oh, man. Hold on, guys. I just got to make light of it. Yeah. I hope y'all been, so I know y'all been supporting the other, content creators and stuff, though, you know. Boy, you know, I can't tell I've been missed. I can tell you that from some of you guys. Got a bone to pick with some of you guys, man. I can't tell that I was missed in my absence. I only been gone a week. Oh, there it is right here. Okay, there we go. All right, I got it pulled up over here. Let me go ahead on and show it. All right, hold on for a minute. Where did you go? Hold on, come in. We'll take a break on this, and we're coming back, though, too. We're going to come back on this one. All right, hold on for a minute. All right, can we put it up there? Come on now. Come on, don't be shy. Come on, don't be shy now. All right. I think what we're going to do, okay. All right. Let's go ahead and put it up here. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. See that? The black ghetto is a Democrat socialism, right? And in fact, let's go ahead and put it on the other side too. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that. All right, let me just go on and make it a little smaller, man. Yeah, hold on for a minute. You guys okay? You all right? Oh, man. I know I've been gone I've been gone only a week, you know. But I said when I get back, I'm going to get cooking even extra, man. Yep. This is where the problem is, right? Right here. And I'm going to keep this up because this is what it is. Look at what it is. Look at what it's turned into. Boy, Detroit and a lot of these, St. Louis look like Gotham City, boy. Won't we need a Batman right about now? Hey, I'm Batman. We need somebody though, right? Boy, looking like Gotham City, boy. I tell you, man. Woo, man. That's what the Dems have turned into. Gotham City. Boy, I tell you, y'all watch Batman, you know how dark and dismal it is. Everybody is pissed off or afraid even to come out. They're afraid of being robbed. Nobody have to be living like this, right? Boy, I tell you, man, look at what's going on, boy. The black ghetto, right? So again, here it is. The black ghetto is Americans' version of that experiment. It already happened. The people running it still call it progress, like I said before. And anyone who points at the body count and the broken families get called the problem or straight out racist. That's the truth. You don't have to like it. You just have to look at the results, right? The results is telling in itself. You got generational poverty. You also have generational single broken families. They know this stuff. That's why they don't want to fix it, because they need an underclass in America, and the underclass in America is the black community. In order for these so-called phony black leaders to be black leaders, telling you that it's racism when all this time they've been manufacturing the racism, just like the SPLC, the Southern Poverty Law Center. Ain't that woman or whoever it is about to go to prison? It's not real racism. It's manufactured by them on the left. They've been creating this stuff. For some of you that refuse to see it, you want to think that who you think that created the black ghettos? Because if you look at the history, it came from who? The demo rats, the dumber rats. That's why I don't rock with that party. That party is a history of terrorism. What started the Ku Klux Klan, Jim Crow, segregation. Go look it up. They wanted to keep their slaves. They didn't want to free them. Who freed them? Abraham Lincoln. He was a Republican, right? Whole Republican Party was in opposition of what the Democrats had going on. And they still are descendants of slave owners, right? That kept black people under their thumb, didn't want them to read, want to keep them in the same underclass, just like they doing today. It's just a different system. This is why, for you to never come up, you're going to always depend on some type of socialist program while you steady fall down deeper and deeper and deeper. That's the thing about it. Sorry about that. That's where this is going on, ladies and gentlemen. It was never meant for you to rise. It was designed like a permanent trap or like a cage animal. And that's what many of the Democrats see black folks as, cage animals that need to be locked up. Don't worry about having no weapon. That's why they have strict gun laws in the inner cities, while everybody else enjoying the Constitution. Not in the black inner cities, they don't. They come down on you hardcore, right? For you to even catch a gun on you. Detroit is an automatic 2 years, right? You got to go down to Frank Murphy Hall of Justice. 2 years mandatory prison. Caught with a weapon, right? If it's not registered to you, and if a lot of them, you know how the brothers are, sisters too, they carry what? Conceal, whether they have a concealed thing or not. I'm just being really honest. We shouldn't even have to have a concealed license because it's under the constitutional right to carry a weapon, an arm. It didn't say, well, yeah, as long as you can, they don't say no stipulations like that. That came from the Democrats. You black people to start waking up, man. I know you don't like to read, but you better start waking up. You better start figuring it out real quick because they don't have your best interests at heart. You're supposed to have your best interests at heart. But I get it. Black women raised a bunch of children with no daddies and stuff. This is why a lot of them ain't no good right now. I'm talking about the YNs. You know what I mean? You can put 2 to 2 together and find out what that means. Single mamas, right? They knew what they were creating. They gave the black women, the incentives, gave them welfare and other government subsidy programs, right? And then look what ended up happening. This is the final product when we talk about black ghetto neighborhoods all across the United States. And not one of you want to address that. You want to change topic, divert, deflect like you normally do instead of dealing with the real thing that matters. Right? That's exactly what it is. All right? So that's exactly what it is. Instead of taking the responsibility, accountability and responsibility is something that these phony black leaders will never, ever talk about. Accountability and responsibility is so bad coming from the left that they have, every time they hear that word accountability and responsibility, they know, oh, that's a term that the conservatives use. Oh my goodness, right? That's how they program them, to keep you in the permanent underclass. Because we already know if you stay in the ghetto, though, one thing for certain it's still a few things that can happen. You can either get jail or hell, like Charleston White used to always say, or you can be 6 feet under, where we say jail or hell. Get jail, you know you're going to go to hell. 6 feet under. That's your only two options by being in the ghetto. Nothing good comes from the ghetto, right? You can't make network and opportunities while living in a damn ghetto where people are afraid of you, as rightfully so. Black folks don't trust black folk, especially if you're living in the ghetto. When they in these suburban areas, they see a black person walking around, and y'all know you're guilty of it too. I wonder where that boy going. Hope he don't try to break in around here. You know what I'm saying? And that's and not just with black folks, it's what other people saying. You know, they ain't got to say it. They just use their eyes. You know how they be looking. Whites too be looking at you know what I'm saying? Coming through there, pulling up in the driveway. Hey, may I help you? Man, you know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. But it's sad, ladies and gentlemen. It's sad. They don't even see it. They don't see the forest before the trees. Boy, I tell you, man. We're talking about historical housing segregations in the United States of America was shaped by a combination of private discrimination and local laws, right? Boy, explicit federal policies, right? Especially during the New Deal and post-war era, right? It was not purely the result of individual prejudice or market forces, right? Government action at multiple levels created a reinforced patterns of racial separation in housing that concentrated many Black Americans in urban neighborhoods with limited access to the same ownership opportunities available to whites. And this was a Democratic policy. Just like redlining is a Democratic policy that was created after the turn of the century. I read the book, The Color of Law, and I don't remember who the author is, but it's called The Color of Law. How they have mapped systematically, the Democrats systematically mapped out these areas from the cities to the suburbs. If you lived in the red and the orange areas, heaven have soul, have mercy on your soul, right? Because you're in a high crime, high theft, so forth. The blue and the green areas, and sometimes yellow is actually better. Yellow is mellow. But green and blue or blue and green, you were good, right? Because they didn't even have to worry about you moving way out there because it take money. And some blacks, when they move out there, they already looking at my property value going to go down. You know what I'm saying? And eventually, because they're not going to tolerate, whites and others are not going to tolerate 25%, 25%. They sure ain't going to tolerate 30% blacks moving in that area because they don't the property goes down, right? Exactly what it is. They just move. And for you whites said, no, you know what I'm talking about, don't you? Just want to move because property ain't no good no more. Property steady going down. Crime go up because we know what else is going to come. Any type of large populated area, right? Now, there are some exceptions with some black neighborhoods, and I know some of these neighborhoods that are still doing well. Nice brick houses and so forth. Baldwin Hills in California. I got a friend of mine that's from Baldwin Hills. You know, basically the good part of South Central. And some of you guys know what I'm talking about that live in California. and it's beautiful there, right? This is where your people that are your educators, lawyers, doctors, and so forth, you know what I'm talking about, engineers, people like that, they live in these communities. And these communities exist all over the United States. But those are the areas that I'm not talking about. Those people that's living like that, they have already figured it out, right? And they have educated themselves. We're not saying black people can't do it. They have done it. But these are a different type of blacks, right? We got ones that believe in scholarship, right? We're talking about going to school, education. They have a generation of them. And they will look at you if you do not have a high, a degree. If you ain't a doctor, you ain't a lawyer, you ain't an engineer, you aren't any of these. You know what I'm talking about. You are considered nothing to them, right? I'm just saying what it really is. And a lot of these people are very smart. They come out of these type of neighborhoods, right? Look at Jasmine Crockett. She come from look at it, man. I'm not making this stuff up. She is not from the ghetto. That's an act, right? Her family and so forth, right? They have money. That's what people don't realize. These people have money. They are not the status quo of blacks. They have the ones that are black privilege that they actually have. They the ones that's rising to the top and using your black misery at the same sense. That's what's happening. It is what it is. So let's go ahead and go further on, though. You guys all right? I appreciate the Mod Squad, whoever's in here or whatever. You know, you're going to be all right. You're going to be all right, though, as we get through this, man. Got to tell the truth, man, because it really is. It is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. It wouldn't do no good for me not to talk about this stuff, right? Government action in multiple levels created and reinforced patterns of racial separation in housing that concentrated many black Americans in the urban neighborhoods with limited access to the same ownership opportunity available to whites. The early 20th century, local tools and private practices. Before the 1930s, cities used racial zoning ordinance, right, that barred black residents from white blocks. Common in border cities like Baltimore, St. Louis, and Louisville, right? The Supreme Court struck these down in Buchanan versus Worley in 1917 as a violation of property rights. Racially, right, restrictive, covenants then became widespread. These private deed restrictions prohibited sales of rental to blacks and sometimes non-white buyers, right? This is basically what it is. This happened in, in 1940s? Large shares of housing and cities like Chicago, Los Angeles carried such covenants, right? Agreements. Real estate agents, lenders, and neighborhoods associated with steered buyers and denying credit alongside racial lines. I don't know why they just won't go and spell it out. There's a book called The Color of Law. I would suggest you to Google search that book. That is a Democrat policy pushed, right? This is what, I knew they were going to bring this up because this is what they're talking about, right? We're talking about the 1930s, the New Deal era, right? Federal institutionalization in the 1930s, right? Where a lot of this stuff have come from that we're talking about, right? What about the Fair Housing Act that you always heard me bring up? That happened in 1968. Boy, this is basically what it is, which prohibited discrimination of sales, rentals, and financing housing on the basis of race, color, and national origins, right? But we got to keep in mind, when this got passed before this, it was very hard for black families to move in white neighborhoods and better neighborhoods. Man, and like I said, we know where this stuff come from, right? Boy, it's really, really sad. Right? It's really, really sad, ladies and gentlemen. I don't understand most blacks that enjoy living in the ghetto because it's rough there. You were designed to live there permanently. You are a permanent fixture in the black ghetto. As long as you stay away from reading, long as you stay away from math, you can never get a great job to elevate yourself. That's the thing. You make every excuse as to why you can't make it instead of every answer excuse saying that you can make it. That's where that is, boy. I tell you. I tell you, man. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about legacy of wealth and location effects from the earlier exclusion, limited starting capital, and access to appreciating suburban housing. They did this on purpose to keep your black ASS in the ghetto. We already know. Income and credit differences, right? Residential discrimination, right? 1968, the preferences, right, for the same race or familiar neighborhoods. Post 1960s, social and policy changes in the cities that were often under the long-term Democratic political control. Raising single parenthood. Higher crime rates in the 1960s, all the way up to the 1990s. Weaker schools, welfare, right? Rules that alter family and work incentives. These affected the black hood, affected the neighborhood quality, right? And the desirability independent for formal housing discrimination. The government programs after 1968, certain, right, the FHA, right, urban lending alternatives produce high foreclosure rates in targeted areas, sometimes called reverse redlining in effect. Guys have to really understand and listen to your brother here, because I know what I'm talking about, right? Housing segregation was never solely about racism. In the abstract, right? Federal agencies under the New Deal actively engineered racial separation in mortgage market and public housing. Private actors and local government participated after the formal rules changed in 1968. Fair Housing Act. Other economic, cultural, and policy forces, family structure, crime, education, and local governance, right, played larger roles in sustaining concentrated urban poverty. Understanding the full history require looking at both the explicit, right, government action of the mid 20th century, right, dynamics that shape outcomes in Pacific neighborhoods, ladies and gentlemen. This is exactly what it is. This is what Vince Ellis said. He said, when politicians control what you receive, they eventually control how you live, and they expect for you to vote in return. And that was very powerful for what he said. I'm going to read it again. When a politician controls what you receive, right, they eventually control how you live, and they expect for you to vote in return. Ain't that something? And that's what the blacks generationally have been doing. They have been generationally voting Democrat while they still live in the ghetto. They still got crime and violence and drugs and gang activity, underserved communities and disenfranchisement, right? Predator lending in the so-called black communities. They're not communities no more. They're so-called. Can't have a community no more when you kick the black man out of the home. And that's what they did. When they accepted, the Great Lyndon B. Johnson, the Great Society, 1965, where black women jumped on welfare. The only caveat is you can't have the black man in the home. This is what the fall of the black family, what ended up happening. Single mamahood roles. This is why, who produced the YNs today? Single mamas. That's what we're dealing with. You're dealing with the aftermath, right? Had the fathers would have been in the homes, we wouldn't have had this type of problem now, right? You think you out here being all the woman you could be? Fine. But wouldn't it have made sense to work with your man, right? Who wanted to have to get out here and be Wonder Woman all the time? Other women ain't doing this type of nonsense, but this stuff is happening where? In the inner cities, in the black community. You got the blacks now, they still think it's racism. Still say, oh, Trump. That's what I'm saying, man. They have been brainwashed, and many of them are gone, especially the older. Older blacks, the Generation X and up, baby boomers, they gone, man. They gone. They still, see the thing with Generation, not Generation X, I'm talking about baby boomers right now. In their head, they still got 1960s in their head all over again. Water hoses, being beat with the water hose, they still believe that. Even though that happened, it was a traumatic experience, but they still think it's 1960 in their head. You can't tell them otherwise, right? That's why I kept telling you, I keep saying this, the most racist people on the planet in America are black people. Because black people are doing this to who? Black people. You got black leadership, black mayors, black city council. You have people in high places that are doing this to their own black people. That's why I say that we the most racist, right? What do you call it if it ain't racism? They're doing this to us, their own people. They don't consider it because it's all about the trade-off. If I could keep these Negroes in the permanent ghettos, I can get paid. If I can prove that racism exists, if it don't exist, we can manufacture it. We can appear that it does exist, right? And this is the type of stuff that they do, right? You would have figured that we have licked this stuff with the civil rights, 1964, the signing of the Civil Rights Bill. Here we are, according to the Democrats, black clergy and all of them, they still saying it's racism. Oh, no. And then when they asked them, asked the black clergy a while back, how long do they think? We not even halfway there to fixing this thing. We may be looking at about another 100 years or so because they want to milk it. This is about this. This ain't about no tangibles that you could see. It's about them getting paid and you being lied to and you stand in the ghetto. Not one of them live in the ghetto. Think about that, right? Boy, I tell you, not one of them, ladies and gentlemen. Boy, I tell you. Yeah, when politicians control the flow of housing, cash assistance, food benefits, Medicare, job programs, or child care, they gain leverage every daily life, right? The recipient becomes what? The client, and the politician becomes a patriot. Over time, the relationship is not neutral, right, Charity? It is reciprocal. And the expected return is political support, turnout, and loyalty. That's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's the Democrats in the black community in a nutshell. That's why nothing gets done. I don't care what mayor you have, if it's a woman or it's a man. We just have a woman mayor. We got Mary Sheffield. Do you see? You still got a ghetto. There's no money coming down. It's not trickle down economics, right? Staying at the top. They're getting paid, right? There's people that, you know what I'm saying, that have the money that the mayor and whoever else, they got to abide by. They got the quid pro quo, this for that. They just use the blacks just to get the numbers. And once they get the numbers, they drop you like a hot potato, man. They don't need your black butt, right? This is not a new insight. Classic, what? American machines understood it perfectly, right? Boy, I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, they knew this perfectly. What is the incentive to vote Democrat as a black person? You ain't seen no improvement in no damn inner cities and no ghetto. Democrats have been in power far longer than Republicans. So what is the excuse? Why haven't we seen any type of change? Why haven't we seen any type of benefits? What's the problem? You got the black vote. You told all these blacks the reason why they are in the ghettos because of racism. When we start to look at it under the microscope, we understand that that is not the case, because this issue has been manufactured. Money didn't go where they claim what they said it was going. They've been giving billions of dollars in these black cities, right? And what did they do with the money? They kept it to themselves while others suffer by the hands of our own people. That's what ended up happening. That's what ended up happening, right? This is exactly what happened. You ain't got to talk about it. You can run from the topic. But we know that with the Democrats, socialists, black folks are socialist, Marxists, even the Black Panther Party. It was actually socialist. It was created by socialists. You don't know this, right? Where do you think all this stuff come from? They were no different than what Fidel Castro out of Cuba. Fidel he was actually college educated, about to go to college. He has a good family. He wasn't living poor in Cuba, right? They pick these people out and they call them revolutionists, right? These are the people that they pick and they train them and they educate them, right? To be the radicals that they are today, right? These people are not idiots. They're not dummies. They have the education. They already have what you're trying to get. That's a fact. They already have what you're trying to get. Martin Luther King was no different. He came educated. Family was educated. You can go on and name them down the list, right? These people had it. And you're trying to get it. Boy, I tell you, the leadership was not designed to bring black folk up. Let me say it again. Black leadership, black political leadership under the Democratic Socialists, Marxists, wasn't designed to bring black folk up. It was designed to bring you down. It was designed for you to be dependent on them. As long as you give your vote to a party or a group, you get nothing in return. They just promise empty promises. They just use you for the vote. You still in the ghetto. You the one that got to look out and watch your back. Right? They don't live in the black community. They live out in the prestigious white communities. They got prestigious white friends. Their children go to private schools and everything. While you study in the ghetto, trying to figure it out, staying loyal to somebody is black. I'm okay with that. Blue is through. Right? So this is why I had to bring this up. This is why blacks are gravitating towards Mondummy and all the rest of them. It sounds good. $30 an hour. Yeah, sound good. But you got to keep in mind, for you guys that are on the right or down the middle, you have to understand. Blacks, right? A lot of them are already socialists. They've been programmed that way. A lot of their leaders are socialist Marxists anyway, right? That's the thing about it. These programs, these set-aside programs, they don't realize that they're in a permanent economical underclass. It was designed for them never to come up. You can't come up as being a victim. The Democrats have chose these people that are victims in society, and they said, we're going to weaponize them only through the vote only. We're not going to put money, not going to do this and that, but we're just going to weaponize them, right? To get them to get out here and march, get them to be destructive and to tear up their communities when so-called social injustice happen in some cases. That's what they know how to do, right? They'll come together for that. They over here looking for race. They be like, well, something happened. Boy, black kid that died by the white guy. They looking for it, right? They want it so bad. They were hoping that Nolan Wells case was going to sprout legs until Officer Anthony Tatum went on there and interviewed those the whites that was with that boy. And that's why they mad. I mean, Anthony Tatum got death threats by black people, our own people. That's why I keep saying the black folks are the most racist people on the planet here in America. And I stand on that because we see it every day. Anytime you talk, if you don't believe in what they say, you have to go along with it or they will hate you and sometimes want to kill you. This is facts. This is exactly what it is. We already know black on black crime is super high. No surprise there, right? They still running around, want to be the victim, talk about racism all the time, got these pro-black groups and conscious community people. Why they don't realize the black folks, they all grifting off you. None of them have never galvanized, mobilized, right, and put together something. The black men of America haven't done it. Haven't done it. Right? They rather just lie to them and say, yeah, the racism. You sit back on the computer bringing all this other stuff. Yeah, the white man. You go down through this channel right now, you get to scrolling, you're going to see them on there. Numbers are low, though. They don't really have high numbers. You know what I'm saying? You want to hear that stuff? I know whites don't want to hear that you always a racist all the time. Other people don't want to hear that too. More blacks don't want to hear that victimhood type stuff either. You want to look for a solution? Learn accountability and responsibility and stop believing in these old phony leaders because they're never going to bring you to the promised land. All they're going to design to do is to grip you for your money and make you a victim and get you angry so you can come out here and do something stupid. While you in jail or 6 feet under, they still doing the same old thing that they always do, grift. That's all they could do is grift. You know what I'm saying? That's all they know how to do is grift. They never created no type of institutions but grift, right? That's all they do. They are they are also much of the problem that I'm talking about. With them, black clergy, politicians, they all have a hand in it. So-called black leadership, all designed as a scam and a sham. And this is why. Because they understand, they already know there is no profit in black liberation. They'll tell you that behind closed doors. There's no profit in that. You want to think that it is, though, it should have been liberated. They got the means, got the access and everything. No, they like it the way it is. It's manufactured. Racism is manufactured, right? Manufactured racism. So therefore, the weak-minded, knuckle-draggers, low IQ gravitate towards that and hold on to that. While other people are making a way in life, you still stuck on this hatred, on this fictitious racism stuff. And this is the reason why you never get ahead. You know what I'm saying? Coming from broken family homes, no daddy, no father, no discipline, right? No protection. Come on now. You ain't winning, you losing. Everybody else have already passed you up and passed you by in life. All you got to hold on to is a 2-bit job talking about racism. You have to learn accountability and responsibility if you're going to get ahead in life. Life ain't never supposed to be easy. I admit, some families it's easy because they have set safety nets, right, and securities for their families. This is what every man's supposed to be doing. But we got a lot of chicken men out here today, especially the black ones. They rather run from their responsibilities instead of face their responsibilities and build up their family, though. Without a man in the home, it's a wrap. You ain't going to learn it from nobody else. It is what it is. So you may not like what I have to say, but what I'm saying is the truth. This is about the realest stuff that you're going to ever hear on YouTube. Ain't nobody rocking with this type of stuff. With us, when we talk about this stuff, it's the truth. You know, there's other guys out there that mention the same thing. I'm not the only one. DeVoy mentioned it, right? A black guy, what's a black guy perspective? All of them mention it. It's the truth, right? It ain't just me mentioning it. It's many of us on the conservative side that have mentioned this. And we know this to be true, right? That's what it is. So it is what it is. Other than that, I think I covered that and things. And let me see here. Kick that around a little bit. Let me see here. Boy, what I'm going to do, I'm trying to wait until I get a little bit more information. I hear the voting error that happened in Wisconsin. Y'all remember Francesca, you know, Francesca, what's her name? Her last name, Francesca Ong, I think it is. Yep. So I don't know if she was the governor. I don't think so. I got some of the information here, but I think I'm gonna cover that on another live stream. But the main thing right now, I don't want to, divert or from what we were talking about here, because this is really talking about. I'm really coming after the so-called black community, the so-called victim class, the so-called victims of so-called racism. Everything is so-called, meaning not true. It was manufactured for them to take a hold and grab onto this thing. While they do not achieve, while they don't go out here and get it in real life, they sit back, complain, bitch and whine over people like myself while they study, fall deeper and deeper, right, into society, right? There's no statue that's ever been being built upon a person that is victimhood, victim class. And that's what they taught black men, black women to be, victim class. Teach their children every day. Victim class, racism, victim class, instead of looking at it for what it really is, right? So there that is. We want to address that. Want to bring, because this is a very, very good point that I brought up. This is not, DSA have always been here. And like I said, you look at the black community, that is going to be your future if you allow these yahoos and these traders that's trying to bring in a different system. And that system, ladies and gentlemen, do not work with capitalists. It doesn't work in this country in things like that. It never worked anywhere else. Now, China is a little bit different. China has the government itself is communist, but the economy, right, is what we call capitalism. So it's a hybrid of two. But here's the thing. When you start looking at North Korea, you start looking at these other countries, you look at Cuba, used to be Venezuela, right? Under Nicolas Maduro, we know what it looks like. These were some of the poorest countries in the world under communism, right? Where this government, the centralized government, was the controlling of everything. They dictated. They own the land, they own the businesses, they own everything. And that's what's going to end up happening here in America. But like I said, I'm confident in Americans that are getting out here and voting. We have been making great, monumental, kicking the DMs ASS, especially in these swing states. Because like I said, Philadelphia is already falling to the Dems. Michigan is going to fall to the Dems. You know what I'm saying? We're going to name it. Wisconsin, too, falling to the Dems. You can't get those swing states, you can't win an election. right? And we made sure and saw to that. That's why we was out here reminding people, hey, this is what it is. They had already took their mask off. The Democrats wasn't just turning socialist. They always have been. Always have been. I always say, look at the black community. Because if that wasn't so, the black community, if the Democrats wouldn't have did what they did, we would have had communities. I remember when we had black, like movie theaters and supermarkets and all this stuff. In the South, we had them in abundance. This is a Johnny-come-late thing. This ain't how black folks always have lived. Black folks was living well, even in the South. They had black bus lines, about over 100 different black bus lines, movie theaters, everything, you name it. It was all in the black community. Black folks lived in communities where houses, they didn't live in the projects. That didn't come until the 60s. They did not. They had land down there. Y'all been in the South, you got family in the South. You know what I'm talking about. Wide open land. My great-grandfather had timber from acres. And I wasn't the only one. There's others. Come on now. So I just wanted to bring this up, bring up some points. I know I've been gone a week. For those that are just coming on, if you like my content, please subscribe and hit that like button. I know you guys already have. And I'm going to address the room before I go. But other than that, it feels good to be back, ladies and gentlemen. It feels good to be back, I'm going to go ahead and look at the comments and stuff like this. Let me see here. Let me go and scroll down here. All right, man, I'm seeing some faces. Oh, yeah, we got Bernie with a super chat of $20, man. I'm going to read what you have to say. Let me go ahead and congratulate you first. Let me give you some recognition. Where did that go? Okay, well, in any event, hold on for a minute. I'm going to go ahead and read what you had to say. Hold on for a minute. We got Diamond in the house. Hold on for one moment. I'm coming around there. We got Bernie ICC, super chat of $20. He says, speak on it. The world needs to hear the truth. Just passing through some random. We can't allow socialists destroy this great nation, melting pot from within. Amen, brother. You're right about that. One thing, American companies like Oracle created the social score. You talking about the social credit score and things, the one they got in China? Yep. Yeah, because I know China has it. Yeah, we were trying to bring it here. They were trying to bring it here, though. You right about that. Let me go ahead and put you right up there so you can get some recognition. I'm going to have to go and shrink that down a little bit. Hold on for a minute. I changed my layout, so that's why things look a little screwy a little bit, but I'm here to get it straightened out here. Just give me one moment here. Oh, boy, where did it go? Hold on for a minute. Oh, boy, it just disappeared. All right, hold on for a minute. I'm trying to give you some recognition here. Hold on for a minute. But yeah, man, I appreciate, oops, there you go again. All right. But yeah, I appreciate you though, man. And I read people chat. I see other people that's in the room. Okay, let me just do this here. It's up there already. Okay. There it is right here. So you guys can see it. Give me one moment. I'm going to use the restroom for a moment. I'll be right back. Just give me a moment, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go ahead and do this here. And I appreciate you guys being on some random guy channel. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I appreciate the super chat. And I'm going to go down here to, as I have some of you, my mod squad and my followers, man. I haven't seen you guys in a week. You know, and for some of you don't know, I'm gonna talk about it again. I talked about it earlier. Though, let me put my, whoops, that's the wrong one here. Get my camera up. There I go. Yeah, because you know why I was in absence over a week. It was something stupid on my part and stuff. But other than that, though, it was that thumbnail that I did with Jake Lane. It was the one with him getting hit in the face with the boxing glove. Even though he got hit in the back of the head, but according to the YouTube guidelines, they cited that video, pulled it down, striked it down for being violent. So they gave me a timeout for a week. So that's what ended up happening. And this is why some of you guys haven't seen me and stuff. But let me go ahead and, yeah, I appreciate it. Yep, Tony Cooking, welcome back. Robert, thank you so much, Robert. I appreciate it. Let me see if Black Guy 9 says all liberals can go to hell. And things. Let me see here. Let me see. Coconuts are real says Tony. You still making M John a mod? Yeah, I gotta make M John a mod. Thank you for reminding me so much. Yeah, Big John, what's going on? Big Matt, he said, "What's up, my MAGA family?" Right? I appreciate it though, man. Bernie, I appreciate you, man, as well. What's this, Brian? And see that Brian, your name is Brian. I got a brother named Brian. That's what's up, man. Brian Reedy, he says, good to see you again, Tony. It's good to see you again, too. We got Damage in the house. He said, another subject is worth mentioning. The Chinese green card through marrying U.S. citizen for $100,000 with 20,000 going to the U.S. citizen, and the rest is going towards the setup for people. Yeah, and you know what, Damage? I'm going to have to talk about that one of these days, too, you know. I'm going to have to go ahead and address that. Because we already know we got to go and shut that down, man. We got to shut that stuff down and things. But, yeah, let me see here. Let me see here. Damage says, yeah, I already read that one. Sorry about that. Man, it's good to see you too, Damage. Right, man. It's always good to see you guys, man. I haven't seen you guys in a while. Coconuts are real. Brian Reedy. Salty Savage. He said, Democrat plantation class. Yeah, that's basically what it is. Because you have the blacks that are fighting us. And they're saying, hey, this Stockholm syndrome, right? Shoot, when you, fall in love with your captor and you see through the lens of your captor, of your oppressor, more properly mentioned, this is basically what it is. This is why the black community would never rise, right? Boy, it takes courage to be able to look through this stuff, boy. Hong Kong Phooey, Hong Kong Phooey. #1 super guy. Boy, I used to love watching Hong Kong Phooey, boy, I tell you. Brian Reedy said, evening, Tony and the Patriots. Man, shout out to you guys as well. Coconuts are real, say home. Yeah, what is it? Yeah, Francesca Hong. Yeah, Francesca Hong. Boy, I tell you. Yep. Let's see here. Diamonds got you there. Coconuts are real. Tony cooking so hard. He hasn't even checked the chat. I really haven't, have I? Yeah. That's one thing I learned about being on Rumble, man, because I don't have the trolls over there. So it ain't really nothing to check over there other than Dakota showed up once. More than once. But he showed up. I had a little bit of conversation with him. But I get it. A lot of people don't rock with Rumble like that. But I still do. Even with this feed right now, it's still on Rumble. You know? Black Guy 9 says liberals are government cancer. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. M. John says life is for a 4-letter word. I got M. John too, man. I had to go in and make him a mod and stuff like that too, man. You know, I appreciate you guys. A lot of you guys, oh yeah, we got Denise Farmer. Wait a moment. Well, I ain't heard from Denise in a while. Man, I tell you, man, it's been good. Boy, Denise, look at that, boy. Yeah, we are one big happy family again. I know you miss me, though, right? I know I've been gone for a while, though, you know. I know even Deja Porter's like, where Tony at? A lot of ones even asking, where Tony at, man? Where is he? You know, I said, yeah, they had me on a temporary suspension, you know. I could not push a video. Well, I was doing it on Rumble, though. There's some stuff on Rumble that haven't gotten over here. And now that I can, I'm probably going to have to upload it though, right? Let me see here. M. John says, Baltimore, 50 years of Democrat in control. They can't even manage their garbage problem and their rat outbreak. They're not even trying to. All they do is take the money and let them figure it out. Let the people in the ghettos figure it out. And that's exactly what they do, man. The jig is up. It's all been manufactured. And you're going to see more people. Vince Ellis, there's a lot of other people that have been coming out talking about this stuff. You know what I'm saying? To keep it real. This has been an ongoing problem for many, many decades, man. Now the stuff is coming home to roost and stuff, man. It's all been manufactured, That's exactly what it is. Let me see here. Let me see Trump. Let me see it. Trump is your liberals' daddy. I know, right? All right. And then M. John says, and because they don't live in reality, amongst real people. You're absolutely right about that, M. John. They do not live in reality, and nor will they ever will. They never will. Let me see here. What else? Ms. Denise Farmer says, LBJ started the high-rise ghetto. Right, exactly. Just for blacks like in Chicago. Yeah, they're the ones that created places like Pretty Green, Old Block, and all the rest of this stuff, man. They created this stuff. You look in Chicago on the south side, east side, man, dangerous neighborhood, still dangerous to this day, right? They don't care. The Democrats been under Democrat rule for many, many years. Decades and decades and decades of the lies, manufactured racism and everything, victimhood, disparity, right? Low impoverished communities and so forth, underserved. They did this purposely to keep the vote. Got them convinced that it's racism and white folks that don't want to see blacks ever get ahead when it was their own party that had been oppressing them. Boy, I tell you, man, ain't that something? Just like with the SPLC, the Southern Poverty Law Center. It's one of the same. Yep. The ghetto is a plantation, right? You're right about that, M. John. Yep, you're right about that. The ghetto is a plantation, and it's designed for who? For its occupants to stay in the ghetto. The Democrats never want to see blacks ever rise, get educated. The Democrats hate an educated black man, so you guys know. They love a dumb YN and all the rest of them, but they hate the educated ones. Because they know when the black man is educated, you can't control him, right? And they know it. You can control the person that's ignorant. Knuckle draggers, low IQ, they're easy to be manipulated. That's why they're always victim type of deal, I mean, it really don't make any sense, but these are the mindless zombies, knuckle dragging soldiers, right, with the low IQ. Over here still talking about poverty. Still over here talking about racism and everything. All that stuff was created. Poverty too, right? All these incentive programs, they were all set up and created by who? The Dems, the ones that we call the socialists, Marxists. These are who these people are, right? That's exactly what it is, right? And then let me see, this person here is D-Mode. I think I remember seeing this person before in another chat. Let me see here. Yeah, that's the thing about it. He brings up whoever this person is. I'm assuming he's a brother. I can tell D-Mode. But in any event, he brings up stuff, and this is his way of deflecting because he doesn't have the answers in why the ghettos and why they were manufactured. See, pretty much know that this person is probably black. I can usually tell. Paula McDonald, right? Welcome, Paula. Paulie. Yeah, good to see you too. Where's my thing at? There you go. Yeah, so there that is. So yeah, it's good to see you and things, and see that a lot of you guys are back and things, and I am back, M. John says, they're usually very beautiful too, unlike the leftist troll woman. Yeah, that's the thing about it though, man. It really is though, M. John, man. Really, cause I know plenty of MAGA women. Yeah, me too, right? Denise Farmer, mommy, yeah, my dummy, paying D to mouth off. Damn liberal, mile worship are empty tools. Yeah. That's the thing about it, though. That's why I say, I mean, yeah, D is, you know what I'm saying, lost in the sauce like many of them, you know, because when you look at Mondumi, ladies and gentlemen, he never had a job before. He lived in, he was born in Uganda, but Uganda, right? But here's the thing about it, right? They had like a compound. It was like a surrounding island, whatever, where the rich people, the wealthy live. He didn't live amongst those Ugandans at all, not real Ugandans. He was sanctioned off, right? But he wanted to tell you other things, want to promise you this and that, right? The guy never had a job before in his life. The job that he actually had, how you not have a job at all, but you become, he become a mayor, right? Boy, I tell you, man, you know. But yeah, that lucky one, I remember him too, and stuff like that. But can't really take these people serious at all, because one thing about it is they couldn't prove me wrong for the topic that we were talking about today. Boy, y'all was cooking in true form as always, right? They don't have anything for us. But this is their frustration. They love changing the subject, and they love talking about Trump when their party is under a magnifying glass, right? Because look around. They ain't going to get by the swing states. They don't have the cheating apparatus anymore. So this is the thing about it, man. We're going to take this country back one way or another. And the way that we're taking it back now is through education, telling the truth, shutting down the cheating apparatus, following the constitutional law, right? Following the land of the law, not breaking the law like the Dems have done, right? And this is how we're gaining more momentum, right? While they lose, they're losing momentum. We're going to pack these seats. We're going to get John Thune, the buffoon, out of there. And it's going to all be good, you know? It's going to all be good. And I'm just over here reading some of you guys' comments, man, because it's like a lot of your comments I haven't seen over a week. But I know who you are, though, that's for sure, you know? Coconuts are real, said Tony wasn't supposed to make M. John. But M. John been rocking with me, man, and it's all good. I can make him, and he showed his loyalty by coming on the show and saying things. But like I said, if I did or not, I can't even remember. It's been over a week, and it's all good. I got to go ahead and make him that and stuff, and, because I love having my mod squad, you know. Boy, I tell you, man, looks like Dark City is at it again, boy, I tell you. What's up, random Salty Savage? What's going on with you, Salty Savage? I remember you, man. I sure do. Right? That's the thing, though. Yeah, Dark City don't have anything for me. D-Mo don't have anything for me at all. Just looking at some of the comments, you know. Boy, I tell you, man. It's just really sad. But, and like I said, they're so Trump deranged syndrome, have this TDS stuff. And we know because everybody pretty much have came out of the ghetto except for a few people that never lived in the ghetto. They lived in prominent neighborhoods, right? There's black neighborhoods that does exist, and there's many of them. I should actually do a live stream on that one day. They want to make everybody think and believe that everybody came from the ghetto. That's not true. It's not true at all. Some of these people have come from back, neighborhoods and stuff like that would make a person blush. Boy, I tell you. But yeah, though, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, it's a beautiful thing, though, He said, old timer says, you're not convincing anybody, LLL. He don't even realize it. Well, even on my off day, I still got people coming into the chat. And I would have had even more, though, boy. But I tell you, man, yep, that's the thing about it, though. You look at these black neighborhoods across the United States, and they all, look at it, they have manufactured this stuff, made the blacks believe that they were victims under racism that the Dems manufactured. The Democrat KKK rats manufactured it. They made it up. It's all a lie. It's an illusion, right? You have been fooled. You have been hoodwinked, and you have been bamboozled by your own, claiming your own party that never gave a you-know-what about you, because if they did, you would have saw better. You would have had opportunities and so forth. They cut it off purposely to keep you in the ghetto, keep you downtrodden, keep you with no hope, right? Thoughts of suicide and all the rest of stuff. They have created this hellhole, this shit show that we're seeing right now, boy. Yep. Boy, I tell you, man. Black Guy 9 says, we've been looking for you, Tony. I know, right? Yeah, I can't reach out to all of you, though, but some of them just carried the information and stuff. They knew what was going on, you know, but that's what it is, though, man. And I appreciate you, Bernie. I appreciate all of you guys because, like I said, though, damage, all of you guys, man. This is basically what it is, though, you know. I admit, though, I don't really get a whole lot of on Rumble. It's a whole different world over there, man. They watch. They don't really comment very much. Sometimes maybe, but not really, though, you know. Yeah, that's the thing about it, though. But, yeah, it's all good. Yep. But, yeah, man, that's the thing about it, though, you know. Let me see here. I'm reading some of the other comments and stuff like that, you know. Look at Skid Row. Yeah, Skid Row in L.A. Yeah, a lot of that stuff have been manufactured. Skid Row, Tenderloin area in San Francisco. You know what I'm saying? All these areas, man. We have we have the Cass Corridor area here in Detroit. I'm going to leave my application for moderator in the chat. I appreciate it. I got you covered, though, Bernie. In fact, hold on for a minute, guys. You guys have all been good, though, to me and things, though. And it's going to become new mods. What I actually asked is this, though, you know, we usually give them at least 10 minutes for a timeout for the first time, you know, first offense, you know. We don't have to go hardcore with them, you know. Certain comments that I can take, as long as they're not racial comments and things like that, you know, I can handle some things, though, you know, for doing this for a little while and things like that. Because like it is, you know, let me see. Like it is, though, ladies and gentlemen, yeah. I have good mods in here for the overall and things. So, yeah, let me go ahead and type this in. Thought this would show up. Let me see here. Some random guy. Hold on for a minute. Speaks. All right. I think my stuff still show up, doesn't it? Oh, there it is. Says I'm live, you know. Man, I tell you, man. Let me go ahead and, doesn't it? Pull this up. Oh, there it is. Sorry about that. All right, so let me go ahead and look down through here, though. Hold on for a minute. Oh, yeah, there you go. I see you, though, Bernie. Yeah. Hold on for a minute. Let me see here. Oh, okay, there he is right here. Hold on for a minute. Let me do this again. All right, there. All right. Whoops. All right. It's very sensitive. Okay, there it is. Let's go ahead on and hold on for a minute. Hold on for a minute. Let me see. Why is that? Oh, yeah, there we go. Add as a moderator. There we go. All right. Whoops. Hit the wrong person here. Hold on for a minute. Hold on a minute. There's a wrong person that made the wrong. You know how they keep jumping up? Made the wrong person. Sorry, Todd. Made Todd a moderator by accident. You know, the thing jumped up. Let me do this again, ladies and gentlemen. I sure wasn't trying to make him no moderator. He used to come in here as a hater. All right, here we go. I think I got it now. Let me see here. Make standard. There you go. Make that there. Okay, there we go now. Nice try, boy. Try to do it, boy. I tell you. Oh, we got Lou Hawk Art in the house, man. Lou Hawk. Let me see. We got one more here. Hold on for a minute. I really appreciate the super chat, though, too. I got to do my coin on the floor. Boy, Lou Hawk Art, man. I haven't heard from Lou Hawk Art in over a week. I tell you, man. Let me see here. Because, yeah, that's right. M. John is a member, too. Hold on for a minute. Let me go ahead. Oh, yeah, there it is. All right, there you go. Yeah, got you as a moderator. There we go. Thanks for bringing that up and reminding me. All right. Hater on the honest. hater or honest man. I know, right? Yeah, Todd, I always had you as a moderator, man. It jumped up, but I caught it, though. Yeah, Denise says, Todd, the hater. I know, I saw you saying something slick. Yeah. Bernie looking good in blue. Yeah, Bernie is looking good in blue. Coconuts are real. Yeah, that's what I say, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what's up. He says coconuts are, what's that, cranium, little milk, otherwise vacant, haters, shut up. Yeah, let me see here. Savage, Salty Savage says, look at the main street, right? Seattle. They giving out needles and junk. Yeah, this is this is the Democrats. This is the liberals' way. Yeah, I'm glad you brought this up, Salty Savage. Yeah, they give out junkies and crack pipes and method. This is the stuff they do. They just give out the needles. Can't you see this stuff? They want to keep it the way it is. They don't want to confiscate this stuff. They don't want to really get these people help that they really need. These people that's on the street really need help. But their way of help is keep them on the street, give them needles, give them the devices, right? So this is basically a perpetuating system. It's never designed to be ended, right? Therefore, they keep getting the money, though, right? We see through the crap now, right? It's all been an illusion on the left. Manufactured racism, manufactured disparity, manufactured crime and violence and all the rest of this stuff. They did this on purpose. That's why, remember when the gang activity started coming around in the 70s. We talking about the Bloods and the Crips, which is an offshoot of the Black Panthers. One went Inglewood, the other went the other one, South Central, one of the woods, right? Here it is. They became what? The Bloods and the Crips today. And they didn't do anything in these blue cities. They just let them terrorize black folk in these communities. They was over here gang banging, out here thugging, robbing, and all the rest of this type of stuff. This was allowed to happen, ladies and gentlemen, right? Why they saying they can't do anything about it? And when they do arrest them with the police, the whole thing is crooked. It's an evolving door. They get some old radical judge and give them less time to come right back out. Yeah, gee, I just got out of jail. Yeah, what up, dog? You know, they do, you know what I'm saying? It's designed this way, though, right? Why nothing ever happens, you know? This is why people had to move away from there. I don't blame blacks, whites, and others from moving from these dangerous cities. These inner cities are dangerous, right? Because you got a party that don't believe in accountability and responsibility. They don't believe in any of these things because it's manufactured to keep getting money and to keep their position, right? While they still saying at the same time that, oh yeah, Trump and all the rest of this stuff. Boy, I tell you, man, That's why they don't have anything for us. I'm over here looking at this stuff right here, man. Bart don't have any. I mean, Bert don't have anything, man. He don't go by his real name. You know what I'm saying? He's that's the thing about it, man. He cannot defeat what I'm talking about. That's the thing about it. He can't. Yeah, Bert, you can't. You no match for any of us in this room, man. You know what I'm saying? You the clown. We already on you guys anyway. We know, and this is why you guys are gonna lose. You think you got my goat? I got yours. You the one that up here trying to say all this other crap and stuff like this, trying to point your party as being some type of savior to the black people. You're not. You're the problem. And my area of Detroit became dangerous in 83.84. Yeah, I remember that though too. I'm over here. I don't know if Robert, I live in Detroit, man. I'm in the Detroit area. He said, yeah, my area of Detroit became dangerous in 83 and 84. Crack killed the last of Detroit. Yeah, I remember that crack. It wasn't even a crack epidemic. It was created, we already know, by the Dems. They allowed that stuff to come in here. Taught them how to take cocaine and turn it into crack cocaine in the inner cities. They were financing. They were taught these young black men on how to do it. I grew up in that era too, man. And that was all Democrat, man. It sure was. Yep, you own East Point currently. Detroit is my city. Mine too, though, Robert. Man, we got a Detroiter in the house. See your Lions, man. Go ahead, Robert. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. And Robert ain't lying, because this is the same scenario like I named St. Louis. We named all the cities, though. You too? We got a little, you too little, I would say a little lamb. Okay. I'm just going to call you, I hate to call you little. I know you're not. But you're from Detroit too. That's what's up, man. Yeah, Detroit is a great city. It's coming back better now than what it was before. It's trying to get there, you know what I'm saying? It's going to take time. But yeah, Detroit, man, we grew up in the crack epidemic, right? Boy, I tell you, man, this is a thing here. So let's talk about the cities again that I already named, right? We're talking about the Democrats for the past 50, 60, and 70 years, straight out of Chicago, Baltimore, Detroit, St. Louis, right? And parts of Atlanta, as well as Philadelphia, right? These are the cities, and many more of them, right? This is where all this stuff, they manufacture this stuff. They can manufacture the crime. They manufacture the drugs and all the rest of this stuff. It was all on the Dems. The Demo KKK rats, right? They told the police. They had these old, you already know. Y'all watched that movie, Training Day? You remember that with Denzel Washington? Yep. All that stuff is going on in these inner cities and stuff like that, man. They the ones created this stuff, man. Absolute cesspool. You're absolutely right, Ozzy Crosby. Oh, yeah, I remember you before, too. There you go, right there. Got that MAGA hat on, man. It's a beautiful thing. Robert, 2020 says, I'm glad we didn't see any rioting, none around here. Yeah, I know, right? Yep, we didn't see any rioting in quite a while, though, you know. This is the reason why these blue cities have to fall, because they, like Ozzy said, there are cesspools of crime, violence, drugs, dilapidated neighborhoods, right? Underserved communities and stuff. They've been playing the blacks left like Jeff the whole time. They didn't give a damn about black folk. They hated black folk. They are the what we call, when we look at the Democrats and own slaves and stuff, these are the descendants of those slave holders that are still doing what they do best. And don't leave out the black ones too. The black ones hate their own people. This is the reason why I said, who is the most racist? Black folk. They're the ones that co-sign on this stuff. They're the ones that sign it. Only all for them to stay in some form of leadership. They sell their own out. What do you call that when you want to sell your own out, you know? Boy, Robert says, I got to say, Mike Duggan seemed to be the best that he can do, you know? Have you like Charlie LaDuff, Robert? He's actually our news reporter. He's actually an investigative news reporter for channel Fox 2. His name is Charlie LaDuff and things like that, where he exposes crime, kickbacks, and other things. I love watching his journalism, man, and stuff like that. Shout out to Charlie LaDuff. Anybody that lived in Detroit know who Charlie LaDuff is. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. This is basically what it is, though, man. So they have created this stuff. They created that book called The Color of Law, which is basically redlining. This is all Democrat policies, boy, and this is the reason. You know what I'm saying? Boy, I Google. Okay, they're all corrupt politicians. You're right about that. Most of them are, right? Most of them are. Not all, but most of them are, especially in the blue states, especially, right? And like I said before, this is why nothing ever gets done. Blacks vote for their own self-destruction. Everybody know it, you know. When you, as white and other, try to tell them, they're going to call you racist. They don't know what you're talking about. Why are you up here talking about this stuff? This old racist white guy coming up here talking about that city of Detroit and all the rest of the stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's what they say for you guys. With me, I'm just considered a self-hating black person that don't know what I'm talking about, right? They want to make it sound like the Democrats are so good, right? If they were so good, though, right, they've been getting billions of dollars funded into their cities. And what do? They take the money, pocket the money, but it doesn't go to where it goes. The only thing they give is these old cheap set-aside programs and stuff. It's designed that way to keep the low-income permanently under the underclass forever, while they study and enrich themselves and make themselves and build themselves up. It's a self-perpetuating slave encampment. That's all it is. That's what places like Detroit in the inner city, it's a slave encampment or the plantation. And they living on the plantation. When you don't know that you are living on a plantation, they just think that everything else and everywhere else is the same. It's not. Boy, I tell you, it's not. Boy, I tell you. Let me see here. Let me see here. But so that's the thing about it, ladies and gentlemen. And I appreciate you guys for showing up, man, and things. I know I came on a little late, you know. Do not recommend this channel. You know what? You can do that. You have the opportunity to say that, and I know why you don't want you don't want to recognize it, you know. And the reason you don't want to recognize it's too much truth coming over here. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why. It's too much truth. It says, shit, this guy over here exposing this stuff, man. I ain't the only one though. That's what the Dems do. You know what I'm saying? Shit. You know, and one thing I'm so proud, I never voted before when it came down to Trump, because I saw the game a long time ago. I didn't vote for Obama. Only person I ever voted in my life was Trump, talking about presidential. It was Trump. Trump. I voted for Trump. You know? He had to send the National Guards into Washington, D.C. He had to send them in Memphis, Tennessee. The Dems could have done the same thing. You know what? They did not. Trump had proven to the Dems that they were liars. These are also people that are pedos, trafficking, sex changing for children, want men and women bathrooms. These people are godless people, ladies and gentlemen. They do not have no morality whatsoever. They rather protect criminals, illegals, gang members, right? And all the rest of them. This is the people that these people come in here trying to protect. The majority of people ain't rocking with y'all, man. You guys are some deranged, sick, whacked out type of people that's on that blue side, man. They gone, man. I have no respect for these people whatsoever. And that's the reason why they do not deserve to be in power, man. We cannot allow them in power anymore. The cult days with them are over, man. And we studied taking America back. And like I said before, and we're going to make sure we get all of them out of there. They are the pedos. They are the freaks. They are everything that is basically clean or unclean, foul and filthy and dirty. And they also are godless people. They don't believe in nothing. And in pretty much of them, they even worship the the devil. Y'all ever watch, I was watching Doc Rich, and he was over here talking, he was showing about he's through with Coca-Cola, right? He was talking about, you know how you can go online, you can customize a Coca-Cola drink. And then some people put on there anything to do with Jesus and good. It was given a reason why I didn't want you to put the Jesus thing. But you could put in there, Jesus is the devil, and they're printed. You see y'all ever watch that? Man, this is Coca-Cola. They're letting you know that they hate Christianity. But you can type on a can and say Muhammad or Muhammad Allah, it's okay. Right? But as a Christian, when you want to put things about like that, it's not allowed. Because the people, the wicked, hate Christians. They hate Christianity. But they rock with it. They love Muslims and they love other religions. Think about it, though, ladies and gentlemen. It's something else. Yeah, I saw that, man. Yeah, Robert says, Robert said, be less white. I've been done with Coke. Yeah, Coca-Cola, yep. Yeah, but I'm just saying, though, man, this is exactly what it is. This is exactly what it is, though, man. And they will not stop at all. They're going to fight all the way to the end. But they are losing ground. I'm talking about this wicked Democratic Party. Blacks have never benefited voting for them. You see, like I said, man, it's a two system, right? Two-party system, man. Boy, I tell you, man, it's really sad, right? mentally wise. Boy, I tell you, Ozzy says Coke won't let you type the word Jesus. Bunch of satanic pedos. You're right about that, though, Ozzy. Yeah, they won't let you type it in there. You can't type that stuff in there. If you try to put it in there, man, I'm telling you, man, these people are godless, man. They hate Christians. They hate Christianity. And it's the truth. They won't even let you type that in here. Let me see. Can I pull that up? Hold on for a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Can I pull that up? Hold on for a minute. Let me see. Oh, man. Let's see here. Let me see here. The official website. Hold on for a minute. Can I come in here and customize my own drink? I don't drink cola anyway. Hold on, let me see. Let me say Coca-Cola. They might have changed it around. It got so much of flack and controversy. Let me see. Customize. Oh, man. Let me see here. Coca-Cola custom can. Personalized bottle, I think it is. Put your name on the Coca-Cola. I think I found it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to let you guys see it in a minute. Let me see here. Right. Custom. Let me see. You know, Fanta, Sprite, and Coca-Cola are all products of Coca-Cola. And many of us have drank Coca-Cola before. I drank it before. I ain't going to lie to you, you know. But I'm not a cola drinker. You know, let me see here. Did I find it? Thought I found it. I'll show you the bottle in a minute. But it says personalized, the Coca-Cola. Let me see if I can find it. Ain't no telling they might have pulled it down, though. Yep, ain't no telling, though. Sign up for 15%. Let me see, personalized the bottle. Okay, the bottles are, here it is right here, guys. Let me read it to you. Personalized an 8-ounce, right? Glass bottle of Coca-Cola. Personalized bottles are out of stock. Oh, gee, I wonder why. You know? Oh, man. Boy, they started getting flat, man. It might have went viral, though. You never could tell. Did it go viral, you guys? Do you guys think it went viral? It could have. Boy, I tell you, man. They won't even show it now, man. I was trying to bring it up. Oh, man. Boy, talk about, man. I'm always late to it, but it's okay. I wanted to get on this about a couple of days ago, man. Maybe about 5 days ago. Boy, I tell you. Yeah, but we cooked them tonight, man. We cooked these DMs real good. I'm going to go ahead on and get on off here. This is my first debut day back after a week and stuff, and I appreciate you guys. The Black Ghetto is a Democrat socialist, right? Where it is. It's always existed here, though. It ain't coming. It already have been here. I want, once again, on my closing, I want people to understand that may not know this. The Democrat socialists have existed for quite some time now, a long time. And you can look at it by looking at the ghettos in the black community. Everything that Mondami and all the rest of them are saying and promising, they promised this to the blacks. Nothing changed. We went from being independent to being dependent. And we started seeing family, the unity, the sanctity of the family unit decline. They separated the man and woman, destroyed the black community, ran drugs and violence and gang activity. All this stuff was manufactured under the so-called racism. And they manufactured racism as well, too. Ain't that something? That's why we're going to see that person in the Southern Poverty Law Center go to prison. And I hope they get the rest of them, too. These people right here are wicked people down to the core. They are godless people. These are pedos. These are trafficking and child and all the rest of this stuff, right? The same group of people that want to have men in women's sports, women bathrooms, and child mutilization, sex changes. These people are wicked to the core. And this is the one reason why we will never allow them in power ever again, right? This is the people that had a plan, right? They want to destroy anything conservative and Christian. wholesome and good, right? Blacks were, at one time, they were a lot of them were, was Christian. They went to church. A lot of them are Christian. But the DMs that came through there and destroyed those communities, man, it's a wrap, right? They're godless people now. That's why crime goes up. You think God is in the ghetto? No, he's not. God is not in the ghetto, right? We already seeing, though, right? God represents goodness, cleanliness, right? This is the things about it, man. I mean, that's when you see God. When you look at it, when you see a bunch of police, that's corruption. When you start seeing, look at the stuff you're seeing in the inner city. It's all corruption. Politicians, corruption. The so-called leaders in the cities, the city council, the mayor. It's all corruption. It's nothing new that we have seen. Look at it. Look at it. It's all corruption. Boy, I tell you. That's why they got to be out. We got to do our thing, do our job to oust these people out of power. They make sure they don't never return again, right? That's exactly what it is. Let me see. Salty Savage says, the ghetto sure isn't the Garden of Eden. It's far from it. It's an area where Satan lives. And these are their minions. These are the demons and stuff that live in these inner cities like Detroit and all the rest of them. With all this filth and garbage and everything else, though, man. Everything, unmentionable thing is going on in these inner cities, man. Manufacture this stuff, man. Boy, I tell you. But it's been good, man. Oh, man. You guys have been great. Child to you as well, too, Robert. And I appreciate you guys for listening to me and hearing what I had to say, and things like that. I know y'all miss my commentaries and all the rest of this stuff. Where's that? I always like to put that money on the floor, There we go. I missed it. I missed it before, though, Oh, man. Black liberals are done. Yep, the ghetto is also, let me see, Salty Sabbath says, the ghetto is also a state of mind. And then you got a great point about that, It's a state of mind, It's not necessarily where you live, it's how you think, right? That's exactly what it is. Great point, though, Salty Savage. Great point. I appreciate you guys, man.
Thank you for the likes.
I appreciate it as well. Thank you, guys. Right? Mm-hmm. But other than that, I got to go ahead on and get on off here, though. I'm going to be on here tomorrow. If I'm not on here at noon, I'm going to get on here about 6 p.m. Probably going to be noon, though. Damage 3332 says, oh, Tony, great stream. Later, Patriots, God bless. You too, Damage. And all the rest of you. I got to do my shout-outs for you guys, for my mod squad. I'm going to do that here. Where my mod squad at? There we go.
I would like to give a shout out to the mod squad, starting with Black Guy 9, Jason Beatrice, that is a member, Brian Reedy, that is a member, Coconuts R's Real, that is a member, Stewart 2004, Texas Jane with her 6 shooters, that is a member, Man USA 1, that is a member, Domish 3332, Denise Farmer,
Appreciate it, Salty Savage.
Cheryl Schultz, Dana, Slicknick 68. Not your mama, but your mama, that is a member. Omega, Howard, special thanks to Tanya Zimmer, and Paul Ace.
Yep, I appreciate you guys, man. My mod squad, I had to give them special recognition. We got to do the member thing only, too, because there's a lot of you guys in there, man. We got to start doing that. We got to start breaking these movies down. So I want to do that tomorrow, actually. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. We got to do a member thing. So I'm going to do some member stuff, hopefully you guys, when I do it, and invite you guys. It's for the members only, though, and things. I got to do a member because I owe them. I'm a little behind right now. That week threw me way off, but that's okay. I'm back. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Members only. We're going to do a live stream, and then I'm going to switch it over to members only. I think that'll be fair. But other than that, thank you for being a part of Some Random Guy. I am your host, Tony Love. Well, we're over here where we kick the truth, right? And we kick it to the point where we can't kick it no more. But I appreciate you guys for showing up and showing out. This is Tony Love signing out. Peace and chicken grease. I'll see you guys tomorrow. There we go. There we go. Yep. So stick around for the Star Spangled Banner. Trying to get that out. This is sung by Ashley LaRue, and she does a very good job of singing the Star Spangled Banner. I love how she sing it too, man. I never heard it sung that quite like that, But But other than that, though, ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and get that queued up. And I got to remove this off of here. But you guys have been great. This has been a great live stream, though, too. Even though we had a few people that come in the room. But once again, you know what I'm saying? Oops, that's the wrong one. I did. One that y'all see right there, I did that the other day on Rumble. This is the one right there where I talked about the revoking of TPS and all that stuff. So you can watch that on Rumble if you have a Rumble account. All right, so let me go ahead on and do this here. I appreciate you guys. Let me go ahead and bring this down here. Boy, over here got this thing looking like Gotham City, boy. They got these inner cities looking like Gotham City, man. Where's the Joker at? Oh, we know who the Joker is, don't we? Oh, the Penguin. Oh, my goodness. I'm going to have to do a, you know what I'm going to have to do one day, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to have to do one of those type of commentary things and pull up Gotham. Can't play the audio, though, but I may have to do AI and do something like that. Who y'all think going to be Joker, you know? But yeah, other than that, let me go ahead and pull up this, though. We're going to play the Star Spangled Banner, man. All right, there we go, Star Spangled Banner. And I'm a one production person, though. I don't have a production team, at least not yet. But one day I will, you know. And then the live stream will even get better and better, you know. All right, guys, so I'm going to go ahead on and sign off on the camera. You guys have been great. And also we're going to be doing the members only tomorrow as well. I appreciate all of you that showed up and showed out. Peace. All right, here we go.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes